Hi, would you suggest taking digestive enzymes with meals when starting out with a Qenda to help with digestion? So, James, you don't want to be having any probiotics or any enzymes in the first month of having the Qenda. By all means, if you want to have enzymes and probiotics, you want to start them at the 1 month stage. That's exactly what Mr. Qenda recommends. So, yeah, no enzymes in the first month of taking the Qenda. James Merritt had another question. He says, "Hi, would you suggest taking supplements like L-glutamine and probiotics when you first start taking Qenda, or wait a bit?" So, by all means, you can take L-glutamine. Like L-glutamine's been shown in studies to heal the damaged intestinal lining. The whole reason why you're having the Qenda is to deal with all the reasons why you've got the inflamed intestinal lining. So, for example, from the age of 21 to 25, I lived on L-glutamine and probiotics because I saw the research that it was good and it would fix you. And yeah, it didn't. It wasn't until I found the Qenda when I actually really sorted out my issues, because you've got to get rid of the infections and overgrowths that's creating the inflammation in the intestinal lining, like before you can heal it up. So by all means, you can have L-glutamine because L-glutamine is like an amino acid. It's good for giving you energy. Like if you're doing, I know you go to the gym, James. So if you're off to the gym, L-glutamine is good for energy. And what I used to use L-glutamine for is if you've got diarrhea, you can have L-glutamine. And if you're having L-glutamine on an empty stomach, it can actually take the water out of your stools and solid them up a little bit. And it can constipate you a little bit. But when I was having 25 to 30 bowel movements a day, that's exactly what I wanted before I found the Qenda. So, um, yeah, like I said, probiotics after a month, L-glutamine, you can have it for energy and stuff, but it's not necessary when you're having the Qenda. But you can have it as an addition. Another question from James Merritt. Is it normal to have a bit of a weird belly, like bubbly, and upset stomach? I'm 5 days in. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Just like what I said on the previous question, when you're killing off these infections and overgrowths, um, you get a gas as a byproduct of that. So as you're killing them off, like there can be a little bit of wind, can be a bit of bloating. So when it's gurgling, bubbling, you can hear it working basically. So that's absolutely fine. Whenever you're on the Qenda and taking the Qenda, if you feel stuff moving in your body, if you can hear it, like it just shows it's working, mate. That's absolutely fine. As long as you're not having like I said in the previous question, as long as you're not having pro-inflammatory foods, so hydrogenated vegetable oils, sugars, all the stuff like gluten that's all creating inflammation in your body, you know, as long as you're cutting that out, you know that's not creating your issues. So you know it's just the Qenda doing its job. And then last question from James Merritt. Can I eat salmon every day and is tuna okay? Like we spoke on a one-to-one, James, having any food every single day, other than meat, really, people don't seem to get an intolerance to like beef or chicken. But like if you're having salmon every single day, one, make sure that it's wild caught salmon and not farmed salmon, because there's a massive difference. Wild caught salmon has, yeah, it hasn't been. I don't know if you've seen fish farms, but it's not very good living standards, and the quality of the fish is nowhere near the same. Unless you ask a fish farmer, they'll say, "Oh, it's exactly the same." But you want to get wild caught salmon if you are having it, and then just be careful if you're having any food every single day. I think any food other than like red meat every single day can eventually become a food intolerance. But yeah, wild caught salmon is great. Um, yeah, try to mix up the foods that you're having every day. And then another part of that question, you said, is tuna okay? Tuna's okay every now and then, but a lot of fish has high mercury levels, and tuna is known to have high mercury levels. Stuff like they call it the smash diet. The ones that don't have high mercury levels is generally salmon, mackerels, anchovies, sardines, and herring. Smash is the acronym. Salmon, mackerels, anchovies, sardines, and herring. So if you stick to them sort of fish, generally they have a lot low lower mercury and metal levels, and they're also higher in omega-3s, and we need to get our omega-3s in our diet anyway. So yeah, if you are going to have fish every day, stick to salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines and herring. And then if you're going to have tuna and stuff like that, have that more periodically, maybe once a week or less.